From the Teddy Belanger studio in Rome, New York, welcome into episode 82 of the Avetts and Beyond. My name is Todd Emanuele. I have Ryan Boyles with me on the screen tonight and on the air. And a special guest joining us for the second appearance on the show, going way back to episode 10. Tania Elizabeth is here. Tania, thank you so much for coming on again.
I'm glad to be here.
And happy Halloween. I can say it's still Halloween. We have a couple hours left here recording on Halloween night. Did you have any good trick-or-treating down there where you live tonight?
We didn't. We called the neighbors over because we saw them and we were like, come here, at least get some treats. But it was raining, so.
Yeah, that's too bad. I was telling you, here in central New York, where it's cold this time of year normally, we were in the 80s today and sunny, and it was just gorgeous. So we had a lot of trick-or-treaters up here. So thank you for sending your normal weather up here.
You're very welcome.
So welcome back. You've been up to a lot of stuff. You're busy. The big thing is that the album that we talked about way back on episode 10, when it was already recorded and done, and there it is in your hand. Storm Season was a done project, but you didn't have it a way to get it out there yet. So now we've come full circle, and this album comes out tomorrow, and we are really excited for it. Tell us about it.
So, there was a lot of back and forth with a lot of people, and there were a lot of what seemed like promising leads. I did the rookie mistake. I did the thing that that you're not supposed to do, which is I spent all the money on making the music, and I was like, well, surely somebody's going to pick this up and they will put money into the promotion of it. So I don't have to save any. I don't have to put any aside and plan for that.
But that should be the way it is, right? I mean,
you're right.
Like back when I started back in the day, 20 years ago, you could do that. And I was working on an old model in my head. And when I started shopping it around, they were like, oh, it's great and everything, but you toured with a whole other band and you don't really have time to promote this the way that we think that you should. And so it just became this thing where I ended up doing it independently. I waited and waited and waited. I could have released this record almost 2 years ago, but I just kept on thinking that something was going to come through and something was going to make sense. And it just turned out that it was supposed to just be me all along. So here we are.
When you think about it now, though, does it mean more to you that you did it all by yourself and you didn't have that help?
If we succeed.
All right.
It will if we can bring all the people together and everybody is interested in being part of it. Yeah. Then
so we can talk more. We can talk more about the songs now. I know last time we couldn't really talk about it because it was such a new thing and you were trying to shop it around and all that stuff. But you have some pretty great songs on this album and some big guest artists, I guess you can say. I know one of them is a pretty big one that you tour with a lot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Scott and Seth did some beautiful playing and singing on the record for sure. Yeah,
that's very cool. Did you have to hold them down to get them to do that, or were they more than happy to help out?
No, I just asked and sent them the files, and they did it from home, and it was they were able to do it in their own time. It was fairly relaxed, but I was very appreciative, and they did a really nice job.
Well, I will speak up and say I loved Who Will Take My Place so much. When you put out the music video, gosh, what was that, 4 or 5 months ago? It just I had it on repeat. I was here in my home office.
You're the one.
I worked well. Okay, maybe, but I was at home working in my office where you see me. One screen was work, one screen was you. And I was just listening to it on repeat for a week. So it really blew me away.
Thank you. My friend Dan Frechette wrote that song. And I used to play it in my band, The Ducks. Yeah. And so it means a lot to me to play that song and get to continue to share that with people. It's sad that it's still relevant, but it's very much still relevant today.
You can say that. Yeah, I can say there's a lot to unpack with that song, I think. But it is beautiful. So first of all, it's beautiful, and then it does have a really great message.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
We'll have to play that one on the episode here, all right? If we can play the music, right?
You could play the music video if you wanted to.
We could do that, definitely. So here's a question for you that I've been thinking of. Now you're still touring, obviously, with the Avett Brothers and on the road quite a bit with them. Are they going to let you? Because I know you play songs during shows of your stuff. Are they going to let you play some of these songs? Or are they going to play with you on some of these songs? Or can you not reveal that right now?
I don't think that's going to happen. It's hard, like the shows are only so long, and
true.
There's so many songs. I mean, how many records do the Avetts have? You know better than I do.
A lot.
It's a lot. There's a lot of songs that people want to hear.
Oh, speaking of that, I just thought of this. Speaking of that, I know Ryan was probably thinking of asking this one, but I'm going to ask it before I forget to ask you. Same Broken Bones off the new album has not been played live at a show. Do you know why that hasn't been played? Have they told you anything?
No.
I think even if Tania knows, she's sworn to secrecy, probably, right?
I don't know. I tried.
It's the one song.
I don't even ask those kinds of questions. My job is really to facilitate. So it's like they bring in the song and I'm like, okay, well, how do I best serve this in this moment? Because things change over time too. Like what we won't play something for a year or 2 years or something. We'll come back to it and it doesn't feel the same to me in my heart. So I'll sort of reinvent a part or something like that.
And they have so many songs.
Was it challenging for you to sort of play? Like they've been playing the whole album except that song almost every show. Has it been challenging touring this season? No. Okay.
No. I mean, I love all the music. Okay. The way my brain works is once I learn a piece of music, it's just stored in there. I seem to have it seems to be unlimited storage for music exclusively. Other things do not qualify at all.
That's normal humans. I think that blows our mind for you to know the whole catalog plus your stuff plus the stuff before your new album plus everything. It's amazing.
If you asked me to play my C major concerto from when I was 14 years old, I could still play it for you.
You have your fiddle right there. Let's go.
I don't have my fiddle right there.
Worth a shot. So the new album's so great, and people have been asking so much why that song hasn't been played. I thought I'd ask you, but I wonder. I just don't know why. I wish we could get that one played so people would stop talking about it. Actually,
well, I wish that for you too.
Yeah. Anyway, the new album. So you're not gonna probably play songs with the Avetts. That's okay. That's okay. Because they have so much.
People want to hear that. They should just. I don't have as much control, but if there's a desire, who knows?
And like you said, they have so much music, so many songs that it's tough for them probably to give up a spot for something else. They're playing their songs, and it must be hard too, playing all the old music. Like they forget lyrics and stuff like that. I'm sure they have to relearn music. I don't know.
But it's amazing how much is actually retained.
Yeah.
We will sometimes not even play a song in rehearsal and we won't have played it for a big gap of time and we'll go to play it and it'll happen. There it is. I mean, I know for me it's stored in my brain, so I know I'm good to go.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy that you're like that. Must be my
heart,
My brain stores baseball knowledge that way, and I don't know why. And here we are dressed in our costumes. I'm a sad Yankee fan tonight. Ryan, what are you?
I'm some sort of Viking elf.
Love the hair.
Mage, something, alchemist.
And Tania, of course, is Miss Pumpkin.
I'm jealous.
She's Miss Pumpkin. You can see Miss Pumpkin behind me.
I got to do that yesterday. It was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, so my brain works not with music, but with baseball knowledge, which is totally useless, especially if you ask my wife. You can't remember to do all this stuff that we need done around the house, but you can remember stats from 30 years ago. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just the way my brain works. It's sad, but that's how it is. One other thing I wanted to mention is you'll be showcasing at the Folk Alliance International in Montreal in February. Can you tell me more about that? I thought this was pretty cool when I heard about it. What's that?
Have you ever heard about Folk Alliance?
I've heard of it, but I know nothing about it.
Okay, so it's kind of like South by Southwest, but way smaller.
Okay.
It's a lot of really genuine acoustic musicians who really care a lot, and it's a great community of people who work together. And I have been proud to be a member of it for well over 20 years now. The Ducks first did one back when I was 19. So that would have been our first one. And they are just fabulous. They are like the nerdiest get together of acoustic musicians and all the people who love that kind of music. It's a celebration. It is a place where you will likely get sick because you're going to stay up way too late. There usually are like 2 floors that are reserved for music making, and if you have a room in that floor, it is expected that you have like your door is open and that you are actually hosting music inside that room. People move the beds out of the way and they put chairs in, and people come in and listen to the unofficial showcases. I'm officially showcasing, but there's also the unofficial showcases. It's a whole trip. It's a whole little subculture. It's like, it's awesome. It's my people.
That's amazing.
I think now that you're mentioning that, Dan Zlotnick, you know Dan,
Mm-hmm.
He took part in one of these Folk Alliance things.
He did a regional version. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing the international one. It's going to be in Montreal this year, which is why most of the Americans are not going. But because I am Canadian, I can just go.
Yeah, cool.
No problem. They're kind of classifying me as an American. Like, they're kind of treating me like one, but I'm like, you guys, it's not really how that works.
I can't do that.
Yeah. I think I'd like satisfy some American quota or something for them, because now I have multiple citizenships. So
if you're showcasing there, does that mean you get one of the main spots that people are going to be able to take part in?
Yeah, there are quite a few people that are officially showcasing, but yes, I get like, it'll be like an amplified stage, and people who like book festivals or performing arts series or any kinds of like venues and things like that are interested in me or music like that will come and listen, and then they can come talk to me afterwards and hang out.
So are you going to play the whole album front
to back? No, you only get like 20 minutes or something like that. You've got to get on there, you've got to do your job, and you've got to get out of there.
Do you know what you're going to play already? Do you have that in your...
I have a pretty good idea of what I have ideas anyways. Because there's certain things that you want to sort of establish, like sure. I want to make it clear that if somebody were to hire me for like a festival, that, assuming if it was just me, it would be harder to do. But if I've got a guitarist and a percussionist, I can hold down a main stage. I can get people dancing. I can do a wide variety of sort of styles and tempos that would, satisfy a folk promoter. I would fulfill the objectives that they're looking for. So.
That's awesome. That sounds like, so there's the International Bluegrass Association, and
that is doing like that smaller than Folk Alliance. Okay. Yeah, that's like
been doing that in Raleigh for a few years, and I've gone and wandered around that. I think Sierra Farrell actually headlined this year.
That makes sense. Yeah,
but they're moving it. Sadly, they're moving it, I guess, closer to you. Actually, they're moving it to Chattanooga next year. So
okay, yeah, the Ducks did it back in the day, like when I was a teenager. So. The Ducks were like this multicultural folk extravaganza band that I co-founded when I was 19. And we played the IBMAs, but we didn't play bluegrass music. That was not our thing. We had a clawhammer banjo player, and then I had more of a Celtic background. And then we had like an Irish/punk guitar player and a vocalist that had like a musical theater background. So we went there and we started playing, and like there was a buzz about us because we signed to Sugar Hill Records, which is a bluegrass label and all this thing. And we get there and it's packed, and we start playing a set of tunes. And by the time we're done, like 4 minutes later, half the place is emptied out. They're like, this is bluegrass. This is not what I came here for. So it was like super hardcore. So we only did IBMAs, I think, once or twice. And then we were like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fun.
All right. So you guys just took part in that concert for Carolina. Ryan mentioned North Carolina, so it sparked it in my head with the Hurricane Helene relief effort there. Was that hard to for them to postpone or cancel shows to take part in that? Even though, I mean, they should have been there. You guys needed to be there playing in that. But what was that whole experience like?
Well, I wasn't there. It was just the core 3 that did.
Oh, it was? Oh,
Yeah.
how did they not know that? Okay. Sorry. So you were home.
I was home, but I mean, I can't imagine that it was a difficult decision for them,
Right.
because I knew that it was important that they wanted to be a part of it. And I knew that there was some juggling around trying to figure out how they were going to do it. Because it was initially going to be on the day before or something like that, because everybody's scrambling just to try and make plans, right?
Right.
Initially, the whole organization was going to be part of it, and then it was like, oh no, it makes more sense. It's probably more efficient, probably does them more good to just have a simpler.
Right. They couldn't have been the only act that had to postpone or cancel shows to be there either.
Oh yeah, probably not. I'm sure a lot of people dropped things and just came and showed up.
But it was a good effort. So
I mean, the brothers didn't come on till like 12:45 a.m. or something. It was insane. They had a weather delay, so my wife watched it. I didn't catch it actually.
Oh wow!
But it was a long night.
I'm sure it meant a lot.
Very worthwhile.
Yeah,
I think they raised $24 million.
Was it really 24 million?
Amount of money?
Wow.
But there was a lot of there were auctions and whatnot. But yeah, good stuff. I mean, it's
Ryan's
really, when you see what's happened in that area, it's just
Ryan's in North Carolina, but he's not in that area of North Carolina. But he's been very passionate. We've done a couple of episodes, bringing awareness to, giving money toward the people that still need help. I mean, it's a mess down there still. You're in Nashville. Did the storm didn't affect you there, or did it come by there? I know it touched part of the state.
It did, but it didn't come to Nashville, really. I mean, we just had like light rain all day, but like there's like an energy, because you knew that not far away, like some really serious stuff was going down.
Yeah, man.
So it was somber. It was actually the weekend of my wedding. So it was like there, like we were celebrating, but there was also like in the back of my mind, I was very much like aware that like it was serious and stuff was happening. So
yeah.
Congratulations, by the way. I was going to mention that you got married.
I got married. Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going great.
It hasn't been that long.
I hope so.
Hey, I even prepared a graphic for this. Okay,
look at that. Ryan's good, man. He's good. We may have pre-gamed a little bit. I think, right? We may have pre-gamed a little bit, thinking that we were going to be recording this at midnight, so we were trying to get as much done as we could. We had a little misunderstanding on the timing of the.
I'm so glad we sorted it out, and that we weren't going to do this at midnight.
Yeah, no, that would have. I was like, we can do this. I got to set an alarm, so just in case I fall asleep, I'll wake up so we can record. And then you're like, you text me at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock this morning, this afternoon. Am I supposed to be on right now? I'm like, oh, she thought AM. Uh-oh. Now I'm at work right now.
Mom mode, okay. I've been going to bed at like 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, they're keeping you up then.
I've been waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and doing my meditation. So yeah, I'm a little fried right now. So if I seem a little loopy, that's why. But I'm very glad to be here with you now and not at midnight.
Yeah. Well, we're close though. It's close. Okay. Speaking of loopy, Avetts puppets. Yeah. Give me your thoughts.
So we have a question. Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
We want to advocate for Tania, Joe, Bonnie. We need a whole troop.
And Mike, don't forget.
Okay, that's yes, and I kind of love it the way that it is. I kind of love it, like as much as I would love to see the versions of that, because we all know that would be amazing. What I would like better is toys, like little dolls of us.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
I mean, it has to happen, right? That has to happen.
Yes.
Well, I have seen you've had. I think it was the Scott Monster keeps like jumping on your shoulders at the end of shows, right? Like you get some interaction.
50 between me and Bonnie, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we never know who it's going to be, but yeah, I've been enjoying my time with those guys too. It's nice getting to know them. The videographers are on our bus, and like over time we've started to become buddies. And
that's cool.
I'm a huge Weird Al fan. I probably mentioned this last time because I can't really keep it inside. But I have been a Weird Al fan since I was a kid, and like I love the parody genre. And recently I wrote the first parody that I feel like truly proud of. And it's to the melody of Aerosmith's Dream On, but it's about Pinterest and it's called Dream Home. And I have been I've been taking people aside and like sitting them down in front of the lyrics that I wrote and like pressing play and like making them listen to it and read my lyrics at the same time and just like basically holding them hostage. But I did that with Christian, who's one of the videographers, and he is a huge parody fan too. And he went with it completely. He has built a MIDI track for me that we can change.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wow. He was like telling me how he's like reversed engineered this whole thing and they want to make a video. So there's like a possibility that we might actually make like a Weird Al style.
Let's go.
But like through the female gaze. Oh, I can't even tell you.
Weird Al might be available. I mean, he hasn't put out a track in a minute, right? So
well, I actually kind of have ways of getting a hold of him, but I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy, you know, like, because like I've been friends with the guitar player for a long time because he was actually a Ducks fan and he used to come to our shows and we played with him and like, and I've hung out on the bus and like I've even told Weird Al, who you call Al, of course, if you're like a hardcore fan. But they were asking me about my musical influences and I was like, I'm so sorry, Al, to say this in front of you, but you're actually one of my biggest ones. And like your versions of the songs to me are the originals and the other ones are just kind of like, meh.
That's awesome.
So I mean, I do have ways of getting a hold of him, but I am a little shy about it. I don't know.
Oh, you should totally do it. I have a Weird Al story, actually. I met him. I was 18 or 19. I worked at JCPenney in Syracuse, New York. And he came walking up to the counter and dropped like 6 packages of men's underwear in various sizes on the counter to buy them. Various sizes. Some were very large, some were very small. And I'm like, you're Weird Al. And I shouldn't have said weird, I guess. But he's like, yeah, that's me. You know, he had a show in Syracuse that night. And I said, you're buying an awful lot of underwear. And he goes, yeah, you know, the ladies like to throw their underwear at me on stage, so I like to throw mine back at them.
Oh, nice. That is hilarious.
And his signed, we put his signed receipt in a frame in our stock room, and that store is long gone now, but I wish I had that because that was
I wish you did too.
Yeah, that was a cool moment though. And like that's so Weird Al. That was so perfect.
So I will admit, it's not a story, it's lame compared to both of you, but I had White and Nerdy and Fluent in JavaScript and Klingon from that song, the lyrics, as my bio for like years and years, like in the early days of like MySpace or whatever.
MySpace.
Yeah. Back to the thing. It was awesome.
Okay.
Who knew this would turn into a show about Weird Al? I love it.
I had suspicions.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a fan. That's
oh yeah, no, it's a thing.
That's good that came out. I like that. So, is there a chance that there's going to be a Tanya puppet?
No, I don't think so.
No chance.
I don't.
You're not going to tell me.
I mean, I can't say there's no chance. I am not. I am not part of the, the inner circle of planning.
Right. I like that the Seth puppet has braids now, though. I thought that was a nice addition to the puppet.
The details are great.
Yeah, and the puppeteers
of the necklace is like dead on.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah. Everything about them is dead
that
on.
went into all of them. They are works of art, truly.
I really love that the Bob monster. Like he has the Bob like vibe. Like they really have it down. The puppeteers are amazing.
So much. Like they have a room.
So crazy.
And they're constantly like all day long. They're referencing it with video and double checking things, and like I can hear them rehearsing for like hours. So
do they follow them around like just all the time, like getting their mannerisms and stuff?
No, they watch videos of them play.
Yeah. They're so good though. I mean, it's amazing how much work goes into that and how much people don't realize probably how much work goes into that. What is there, 9 guys altogether?
That's the thing too. Like each puppet requires 3 people to operate it. So each time you add a puppet, you're adding 3 people on the road.
True.
Which, tour buses are expensive. Hotel rooms are expensive. especially nowadays. So the chance of all 7 of us being immortalized in puppet form, I don't know.
That's true. That's a lot of extra people. That is
So
something again I never thought.
Hoping for the merch line then.
Okay. Merch line. There you go. Yeah, we need the little dolls. We need the merch, the t-shirts and hoodies and all that, because I'm there for it.
It's very possible. I mean,
let's go. Love the puppets. It kills me when I hear people complaining about the puppets too. Like, we just want to hear them sing. Like, come on. It's so much fun. You can see how much fun you guys are having with them on stage. And that's what I love most about it. It's just fun. I got to see it once in person, and I am so happy I got to see them. And my younger daughter was with me, and she absolutely loved it.
I bet she loved it. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing kids in the audience. It is just the best. Unless they don't have ear protection, and then I get
yeah, we've been right up front a couple of times, and it does get pretty loud.
Yeah.
So I get that. So I've been chatting a little bit with Joe Kwan about coming on my show. Now, can you please tell him that he has to come on?
Oh my gosh. Shameless plug.
Yeah, no,
I will tell him for sure.
Yeah, he's like, he said he'd like to come on, but I know he has a lot of commitments with the baby, and it's just, he's very busy right now. And
you have kids, right?
Oh yeah, mine
you
are.
Remember that first couple years?
Yeah. Oh,
you know, your head is
soaking in every minute. I think
my kid is about to turn 6, and I feel like I'm just now starting to come out of it. You know, like, it's a process.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, as the father of a 20-something, two 20-somethings, 6 is like the magic time. So enjoy every minute.
Enjoy every second of it. It doesn't last. My baby's 13 now, so it's.
I want to ask you. I want to take you back and ask you. I want to ask you if you have any like cool random busking stories, because you talked about. I saw you perform at the Neighborhood Theater in Charlotte. I guess it was last year or so, and I'm just fascinated by that sort of past performance that you would have, busking. Do you have like things you like to talk about, or experiences, or how that formed, your musical sensibilities or anything? Or am I just making?
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of the things that's really helpful with busking, and one of the reasons I would recommend it to anybody who wants to pursue a professional career in music, is there's something really helpful about like playing your heart out regardless of what's happening out here, regardless of people's enjoyment or a complete ignoring of you. There's just like I'm thinking of like, you're toughening yourself up a little bit. You're making yourself a little bit more resilient. You're just not taking things so personally. And I think that for me as like a 12, 13-year-old, to be putting myself out there and deal with rejection on a sort of like a manageable level like that was probably super helpful. And then when I started getting gigs and stuff like that, like a lot of times they were like pub gigs, playing fiddle at the pub. So I played there for like 4 hours and watch people just get wasted.
13, but 13, I'm even just like thinking about like that is really young to cut your teeth that way, I think, right?
Yeah, but you know what? It put me off drinking. I was like in my late 20s. I didn't really. I mean, So I avoided all that just because of what I witnessed during those years. But like the busking aspect of things was, I mean, also it was way better money than anything else I could have been doing, right? I mean, as a 12-year-old living in Victoria, which is a tourist place, in the inner harbor there, people are just walking right by. And, I was a 12-year-old, so I looked young enough and I could play for real, like I had a huge repertoire of tunes and I was just ripping through them. So people, it was much better than babysitting. Sure. And now think about like sometimes me and my friends we'd play it for a couple hours, 2-3 hours, and then we'd take our change and we'd go to like the coffee shop to count it, and we'd just pour it out on the counter. And I just think about the kid who was only a few years older than us, who's behind the counter being like, oh my gosh, like here I am working all these hours and these kids have just, cleaned up. But we were oblivious, of course.
That's amazing.
Was that? Yeah. Did you have more with that, Ryan? Or
no? I'm just blown away. So that's all.
There was a kid that tap danced And he looked small for his age, and we totally like used that to our advantage. And yeah, we would go and we would play, and he would tap dance, and we'd do so well. And one time we got this gig opening for this Canadian 70s star named Valdi. He was like a folk superstar. And we were opening for him at the Souk Theater, which was like a high school theater that had been converted. And our little friend, he was so small that he could fit inside of a suitcase. Our tap dancing friend, Michael Boston, who is still a tap dancer, an amazing dude. I looked him up a while ago, and he's doing great. And so we pulled a suitcase on stage. We play like 4 tunes, like 4 sets of tunes, like 20 minutes in. And then all of a sudden, halfway through like the next set of tunes, he like pops out of the suitcase and does this little tap dancing thing and like shocks everybody. And like, yeah, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you were 12 at that point, right? Didn't you start when you were 9, like your career?
I started playing when I was 3.
Oh, well, right.
And when I was 9, I decided I wanted to be a fiddler in a country band. When I was 10, I came to Nashville, and I went to the Mark O'Connor Fiddle Camp. And yeah, I like to joke with my husband, who's from here, that like we must have walked past each other or something like that. But yeah,
you're reunited.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So by the time you were 12, you were a seasoned vet, though, and you're talking about having this whole repertoire. You really did.
I did, because I joined this fiddle troupe when I was 9 years old. It was like this group of 12 kids. You had to audition to get in. You had to know a really big repertoire, and everyone had matching outfits, and we had choreography. And as a 9-year-old, I was like, come on, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. But the next kid up was 4 years older than me, and they went all the way up to 18. And so they didn't really want to have anything to do with me. This 9-year-old who could play everything that they could play. And then I thought it was because I wasn't good enough. So I learned all of their parts too, to show them that I was good enough and they should want. And then I learned all of their solos that were pre-written for them. They didn't like that.
Well, I bet not.
Yeah, they didn't love that. But
now, can you still play all that?
Yes, I know all of that material.
That's
I know all of
the.
I know all the parts. Yeah.
That's insane. You're like a musical savant.
I don't
obviously.
remember the choreography at all, though. The choreography is completely gone.
How dare you?
But yeah, so I had to like sign a contract about my behavior, like that I wouldn't smoke or, swear. As a 9-year-old, it was not a problem.
Right.
But yeah, so like I was very professionally minded from that point on, and like I took it extremely seriously. I never considered anything else. That was it.
It's worked out for you, that's for sure.
Thank goodness, because I quit school in the beginning of grade 9 and I never graduated. Wow. I have nothing to fall back on as far as
well,
regular
you're proof that school is not the be all end all of being a successful person.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that I lucked out by not having all that programming. Those last few years of programming just didn't happen to me. And so there's certain things that I feel like an anthropologist in the field still, like I'm just like, why do they do that?
I would argue that's a good thing that gave you an advantage. I think too much programming is never good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes they get a little lost though. Between having gone to school in French, because I was in French immersion. So there's certain things that like make sense to me that, don't make sense in the wider world. And then oddly, because I didn't grow up in French Canada, I don't really have the cultural French stuff. So like in jokes and like slang and stuff like that are kind of beyond me. So like there's some of that happens. And then the not having graduated and done the last 4 years. So it's like, it's a little bit of an alternative perspective, but hopefully that makes for some good music and some, good art.
Speaking of that, you have new music.
You want to talk about artwork next, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can talk about the artwork. I have 2 paintings up right now. You were talking about raising money for North Carolina, rescue efforts. I have 2 paintings up right now where 25% of the proceeds are going to that. So,
nice.
And it's all on my store.
Where can people see your artwork, buy your artwork?
Merch, on my store. Yeah, if you go to my website and you just click on store.
Is that the right website? TaniaElizabeth.net?
Yeah, .com also works. .com just goes to .net. I bought both of them because I didn't.
Oh, nice.
There's also this thing called Google, Todd. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've seen it a few times. So yeah, find
really
that.
Great. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way. Like,
the
response from everybody to help in little ways has been wonderful. So I think it's a great. Everybody's found a way to help in some way or another. So it's been wonderful.
There's still so much more help than they need down there, right?
Yeah, it's an ongoing process. At first, I was worried when the paintings didn't sell right away, but then I was like, you know what? This is just going to be ongoing. There's a year from now, they're still going to be meeting me. So definitely.
It's crazy how there's still Ryan. There's still people missing, right?
Well, gosh, take us way down.
I'm sorry.
there is, but I mean, I think at this point, it
would be a miracle.
It would be a miracle. You're right. So there's not much to say there other than there's a lot of tragedy still to heal from. I think that's the right way to put it, is like, there's going to be even the healing from this for a lot of people is going to take a minute. I mean, more than a minute. So it still looks like a disaster zone out there from folks. I just donated money for a friend of mine in Charlotte to bring up, like, he's like collecting money to bring generators to people. Cause it's going to get cold and a lot of people just getting through the winter is going to be tough.
Yeah. And it gets
sorry I brought it down there so much. It's kind of a bummer
ending. Look, honestly, I'm making a little bit of lightheartedness here, but I mean, we need to keep focus on it because it's like Tania said, it's going to take a while for them to get over this.
Yeah, I've always had a big love for North Carolina. I mean, they embraced the Ducks right off the bat when we first came down. There was some sort of a kinship that happened, and every time we went there, it always grew. And then obviously all of my time with the Avetts. So I feel a deep sense of kinship, and I'm glad to be helpful in any way, but I know that there's always ways that we can bring more.
Definitely. All right. So when this show airs, your music, your new album, Storm Season, will be out, available for everyone to get. Tell us, it's just going to be available everywhere?
Yep.
Nice.
Everywhere. It should be in a few hours, actually. It should just magically appear on everyone's devices.
In an hour and a half.
I know I have it in my queue, but it's got to be so satisfying to think about that.
Yeah,
hour and a half here on the East Coast. So I'll be downloading it right away. So excited for that to come out. So
you'll be like the first person, possibly. It's entirely possible.
I probably will be. I've done that before because I'm up late every night. So I'll be there at 12 o'clock, right on the nose, to go to Spotify and get it. So
I'll know it was you.
There you go. There you go. Tania, thank you so much for coming back on again. I really appreciate it. And I know it's past your bedtime and all that stuff. But, this has been fun. And I hope we get to run into you down the road again here sometime. And please tell Joe to come on the show.
I will. I'll tell him what a lovely time I had and encourage him to join you.
And he'll be like, yeah, right, whatever. Okay. Tania, thank you. And congratulations on the album. Best of luck with everything. And again, have fun on the road.
Thank you. If people want to know what they can do, they can like it, they can share it, they can buy it off of my store. They can call radio stations or go to the radio station website and request the song. That actually would make a tremendous difference. If there's one thing, that would be to call or send fill those forms out. That actually would make a huge difference for me because I don't have any publicist. I'm doing all of the stuff by myself. I'm literally writing all of the emails. So if people want to make a difference, it actually would make a huge difference in my life. So
very cool. We'll do that then. Yeah. And is there vinyl available? I know you had some vinyl.
Yes. This is it. This is it right here. I have it. It's on the store. It is for sale. I will personally, if you buy it, it's me who is packaging it up. It's me who's sending it to you. I will sign it. I'll do whatever you guys want.
So. We'll be buying one of those as well. So I'll take a signed one, definitely.
Good.
TaniaElizabeth.net or .com. She owns them both. Get on there and buy that album and go get the music. and call the radio stations and do what she just said, because that's cool. That's like old school. But that stuff helps. People don't think
it makes a real difference.
Yeah,
it really does.
And add the album to playlists on Spotify and stuff like that. That helps too.
Yes, it does. So, yeah.
Thank you,
Tania.
Any
really independent artist that you love, do those things. Yeah.
Yep. Support music. That's always a good thing. Thank you, Tania.
Thank you so much.